Weganawagerono, and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. I'm Michael Stock, one of the hosts. We have Ross Montour, Jessica Deer, and a special guest today, Carl Bourque-Root. How you doing, Carl?
Very good, thank you.
So, today we're discussing a lot of issues. I know that you have some issues that you want to discuss, and like we told the community before, that that seat is always open, right?
It's always open, and we like to keep it filled, as a matter of fact.
You're right, we do.
It's a little hot right now.
Well, it'll get hotter as the show goes on. But
one of the things, though, I mean, really seriously, though, I mean, all joking aside, one of the things we had hoped to have at one point a continual presence by a community member, not one of the usual list of suspects, and by that I mean politicians, so on and so forth, but everyday community members.
That's right.
You're just a little bit more active than some in terms of the political arena.
I've been quiet for a while.
I know you have, but it's okay. It's still on your profile though. It's still on your profile.
And Ross and I like to shake that hornet's nest once in a while. So
give it a little kick. See what happens. So it's welcome. It's a pleasure having you.
Welcome. So the first issue I guess we can talk about is because we're getting very close to Jesse Deer's anniversary.
Yeah, it's actually today, the day we're shooting on Wednesday. The 1 year anniversary of his death, where he died from complications of the H1N1 flu, and well, I guess it's safe to say that he's very much missed in the community, and condolences to all his family and friends, and
on behalf of us, I can do, Wandy and Susie, and his brothers and sisters, they keep his page going on the computer, and they keep that momentum. He's going to be missed by a lot of people in the community, especially all the media. He's been involved with everybody, so
you can still hear his voice on the commercials for Mohawk TV.
Yeah, we keep it on.
He left one hell of an impact on Kahnawake. He was a real Kirut in my eyes.
It's true, eh?
He was very much one of family. Not only Kahnawake is going to miss him. I think anybody that could hear their local radio station somehow adopted him in a way because of he had such a character that he was as big as Kahnawake, and his heart was that big too.
Yeah,
and he would do anything for anybody.
Ever since he was a young boy, he always wanted to be involved in something. And I think he hit his niche though. He got into media, and then after that, everybody took him under their wing. But he fit right in though. Everywhere he went.
I think he's the only Kirut that went to college.
Did he?
It can't be. I did talk to Jesse's mother one day. And one of the things about him was the fact, he did all this volunteer stuff. He just wanted to learn so many things. He just wanted to contribute. And I don't think anybody disagrees about that. Jesse was a guy that he kind of moved outside of politics, kind of moved outside of whatever. It just look for things that he could make a contribution to in the community, and he's missed. It's unfortunate that the last year or so of his life, was marked by such a terrible,
unfortunate accident that he
health.
had.
He had the accident at the fire hall, and then the H1N1 thing. I like to think that each of us, we never know from one day to the next. We don't know if this is our last day walking this earth or not.
Mm-hmm.
But every day that we are here, we should try. That's one lesson we could learn from Jesse, is that every day that we're here, we should try to make our presence here matter.
Mm-hmm.
Have convictions, act on your convictions, and contribute. So to his family, condolences. And to the community. I think part of this, he can celebrate that he was actually present among us.
Yeah, you're well said, Ross.
So another, well, not news, but kind of on the unfortunate train, the Cattery Hall was recently shut down. there was a inspection from the Kahnawake Fire Brigade on Tuesday afternoon, and they deemed it was like not safe to be in.
A fire trap.
Yeah, it was. I called David Scott from the fire brigade, and he said the building really isn't being used as the purpose of the building, like what it was made for. And the theater, the Turtle Line Theater Company, who rents the building, like, has obviously adapted it to be a theater, and it wasn't meant for that. And by doing so, it doesn't meet code. Some of the things he mentioned is that there's a lot of combustible materials in there. There's no emergency lighting, or even like the emergency exit signs. No fire alarm system or sprinkler system. And so starting Friday, he's going to be going there to make recommendations, and then the theater's going to have to decide whether they're going to have to do renovations or find a new building for their theater, because no one's allowed in there.
Do they have the wherewithal financially to do the work?
Well, I know they recently received, like, they've recently been receiving a lot of money, but I don't think it is enough to have the theater survive with the financial cost of a new building or like major renovations. And I think the thing that's just so disappointing about this situation is because they had to cancel for now or postpone their like 3 productions. One for this week was supposed to open Wednesday night tonight. There's another one that's supposed to be for musical entertainers the next week, and then
the annual Christmas shows coming up too.
And an issue that was brought up about it was that they've been in that building for 10 years, and over the years they like adapt it more and more, but this is the first time an inspection has been in that building. So why right now, and why just before, like a day before a show?
Well, you know what, you have to give the fire department, I guess, some credit also. Somebody might have said that it's not safe in here, and then,
Exactly
they have to go and to check, and there should be certain codes to follow. The problem is though, when we get to stuff like that in this community, is that what constitutes shutting it down? Are the codes in our community, or does the power of the fire department able to shut that down? There's a lot of issues in regards to that. Is it something that you look, but safety is safety, and it's that building.
Yeah.
That building, it burnt down. That's why there's that building, but the other one is really old. But the responsibility is who? Fiduciary responsibility for that building is the church, because it belongs to them, as far as I'm aware. Do you know any different? Anybody?
Well, apparently, and then the whole thing is Kahnawak's whole church, and this is a little tangent, but it comes into it. Is Kahnawake, because more and more the diocese is talking about like Kahnawake is part of its diocese, and so that's But the simple answer to the question, it belongs to the church.
Yeah, but regardless, I think that there's a lot of people that are going there, and if something did happen, unfortunate, the fire department can't close their eyes if they see something that's unsafe. They have to say that this is what you have to do. These are the recommendations. If you choose not to follow them, at least they had done their job, and that at least they're saying that in the event that something happens, then it's out of their hands. The enforcement part is not them anyway, so it becomes another issue.
I think I look at it in a political way. By enforcing codes that we never had nothing to do with, I presume they're going to put municipal codes or Quebec codes. And I ask this: if we're going to put those kind of codes in our community, are we also surrendering jurisdiction? Because to apply those codes, you gotta follow some structure. So what structure? That's the only thing I look at, is whose jurisdiction. As I was on the radio last week, I believe, with Arnold Lazar, explaining this about putting stop signs or put no parking signs from Robascus to the hospital, and I rose that question: if we put up these signs, are we not surrendering jurisdiction? Because you're putting up the province's signs, you're going to have to apply whose jurisdiction to enforce those.
Yeah,
But I think no matter what, whether it's the province or like federal like laws or codes. It's codes that are there for safety reasons, and they
It's-
make sense.
Yeah, it's fire safety codes that the fire department are trained to follow, that they have to follow. As far as the building codes go for commercial buildings, the insurances require them. A lot of the times, it's an external force that wants those codes, and as far as the insurances are concerned, and the fire department, as far as the safety is concerned, that's an issue politically, I guess, for the community. How far are we going to go with that, as far as we're concerned with that? But I know that they still have to, there still has to follow
Well,
some.
the scary part is what they start with a building. What about your home? What about our people that are not living in the best of conditions in Kahnawake? Are they going to be taken from their home because it doesn't meet the fire requirements?
We'll cover that, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these messages.